Consumer confidence falls before Christmas. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heise here, and welcome to another episode of Heise Says. So, we've just received the latest consumer sentiment data from the Westpac and Melbourne Institute. So I thought we would go through it because it is falling, it is heading down, I'll bring it up. It is heading down and right before Christmas, which is a little concerning, something I am watching the retail figures over Christmas because I think that's going to influence the decision to head to 0.25 cash rate faster than we think. So let's have a look. The Westpac Melbourne Institute Index of Consumer Sentiment declined 1.9% to 95.1 in December from 97.0 in November. The index has fallen 6%, I'll zoom in, since the RBA started cutting the cash rate in June and has been below the 100 level, indicating pessimism outnumbers optimists, or pessimists outnumber optimists throughout the second half of the year. This poor performance of the index is broadly consistent with the sharp deterioration we saw in consumer spending in the September quarter, as reported in the national accounts, and the early evidence of weak retail conditions for the start of the December quarter. Responses to additional questions on news recall showed that the highest recall for the month was news on interest rates. Well, there we go. What do you think, guys, in the comments? Think back, what is your highest recall on news? Here the results were surprising. The RBA cut the cash rate on 10 occasions between November 2011 and August 2016. During these periods, consumers' assessment of interest rates interest rate news showed a favorable, unfavorable mix of around 50-50. The results are not always outrightly positive, partly because depositors are likely to see rate cuts in a negative light. For this latest cycle of 3 cuts since June, the favorable-unfavorable balance has been around 30-70%. This is further evidence that the rate cuts in this cycle have had a much less positive impact on consumers than in past cycles. So here we have evidence of the ability for monetary policy to manipulate and nudge us in the behavior that the Reserve Bank wants us to follow is no longer working. Right here, guys. Right here. I can't say I'm surprised by any of you. There was also high recall of news of economic conditions, 18.9%. News in this area was assessed as the most unfavorable in 4 years. Other topics with high recall include budget and taxation, employment. The news in both of these areas also assessed as relatively unfavorable. Well, there you go. People are worried. People are worried everywhere. Guys, GDP is down. Building approvals are down. I'm not surprised that people are worried. All components of the index recorded declines in December. So the economy next 5 years sub-index fell 2.4% in December, and the economy next 12 years sub-index fell 1.1%. Both are down sharply on a year ago, -11 and -14.2% respectively. The finances versus a year ago sub-index fell 3.6% in December, and the finances next 12 months sub-index slipped 0.5%. These components are down by 9.5 and 7% respectively on a year ago. Readings continue to disappoint given interest rate cuts, the $7.7 billion in personal income tax relief rolled out since July, and the turnaround in housing prices in most markets. Okay, well, notice how they've just framed this as disappointed. I guess everyone wants a positive spin on the market, but I'm used to more academic assessment of the data. And the turnaround of the housing prices, well, only in some markets, not all. The time to buy a major household item sub-index fell 2.1% in December. At 115.4, the sub-index is well below its long-run average of 127 and 3.7% down on last year, suggesting consumers will continue to keep a tight rein on discretionary spending. The Westpac Melbourne Institute Unemployment Expectation Index rose 1.1%, 138 in December, up 14.1% on this time last year, and at a 2.5-year high. There you go. We'll scroll over here. Recall that higher readings indicate that more consumers expect unemployment to rise in the year ahead. Well, let's have a little survey here in this video, guys. Let us know in the comments if you think unemployment is going to rise next year. And if you don't, explain why. Please explain why it's not going to rise. All these people are telling me, oh, the housing bubble is good because of this. They never give me a fundamental reason other than FOMO and interest rate cuts. And you've got to remember, guys, we have a generation here. We have a generation that doesn't remember what a recession is, or isn't old enough to know what a recession is. So the readings are consistent with a slowdown in jobs growth and steady increases in the unemployment and underemployment rates over the year ahead. Note that Westpac is expecting the unemployment rate to lift to 5.6%, up from 5.3% over the course of the first half of 2020. Housing-related sentiment was mixed in December. Views on time to buy weakened sharply, but price expectations continue to rise. Well, if you think unemployment's going to go up, why would you buy now? Why would you buy now? Can property prices shoot up if unemployment is up? You know? The time to buy a dwelling index fell 5.6% in December to 112.3, materially below the long-run average of 120. This index is now down by 11.5% from its peak in August, shortly after the turning point for prices, which occurred in June. Note that the index bottomed out at 90 in May 2017, the timing of the peak in prices in the previous cycle. On that basis, current level of 112.3 compared to low point of 90 in the previous cycle, it certainly appears that price gains have further to run, but we will be watching this index closely over the next year. Sydney's low point in the previous cycle was 74 in May 2017. Melbourne's low point was 83 a little later in August 2017. Currently, Sydney index sits at 111 and Melbourne 112, off recent peaks of 124 and 132. The Westpac Melbourne Institute Index of House Price Expectations Index rose 3.2% in December. Responses to additional questions on the wisest place for savings showed a shift back towards very high risk aversion. Consumers heavily favour safe options, 64%, nominating deposits, superannuation or paying down debt as the best place for savings, compared to 62% in September. The portion favouring real estate slipped from 12% back to 10%, and the portion favouring shares remained low at 9%. The Reserve Bank Board next meets on the 4th of February. Westpac execs expects that the board will decide to cut the cash rate by 0.25% to 0.5%. What do you think, guys? Do you think we will get that cut in February? Let us know in the comments below. Maybe I should do a poll on the community tab. I'll do that later today. While this survey highlights the risk of a negative impact on confidence of very low rates, let's go over here, the board will still be impressed by other channels through which monetary policy has been working, boosting asset prices and maintaining downward pressure on the exchange rate. The governor has also noted that while consumers may not be spending the benefits of low rates directly, they are repairing the balance sheet with a view to spending at a later date. Are you going to spend at a later date, guys? Is that what we're all doing, is it? Well, I guess, yeah. We're attacking our mortgage, and I intend to spend on our house, chipping away bit by bit, but eventually we'll have to raise it, and that'll be a big chunk of money. So in his recent statement following the board meeting in November, the governor also linked the boost in asset prices to spending through a potential wealth effect and the lift in housing turnover and associated spending on household goods. The decision to cut the cash rate in February is also expected to be supported by a downgrade in the growth forecast for 2020. And this was written by Bill Evans, the chief economist from I'm assuming the Westpac Melbourne Institute, who did it. Division of Westpac Bank. Yes, the Westpac Institutional Bank. So there you go, guys. There you go. We'll have a look here at the year-on-year change of. I'll zoom out a bit so you can see it. So consumer sentiment year-on-year is down 8%, 8.9%. Family finances versus a year ago is down 9.5%. Family finances next 12 months is down 7%. What is it? Economic conditions, next 12 months down 14. Next 5 years down 11. Time to buy a major household item down 3.7. Time to buy a dwelling is 1.8 up. Unemployment expectations up 14.1. And house price expectations index is at 40.1 from a year ago. So there you go, guys. What do you think? Do you think we'll have that cut in February to the cash rate? Are you squirreling away your savings with a plan to make all these purchases later in the year? Take care, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Share the content to help spread the word and talk about it at Christmas barbecues with your family members. If you enjoy my content and want to help us produce more, we have a Patreon where you can make a small monthly donation. We have eBay and Amazon affiliate links where we will receive a small commission every time you make a purchase that doesn't cost us a cent. We also have merch on the Heise Says website. Get yourself a Heise Says handmade pocket square. And finally, we've got PayPal for those of you that want to make a direct donation. Thank you, everyone, for your support. Take care, and I will talk to you later. Bye for now.